is that you see some fair value gaps which work, but some which don't work, right? So if you're not using order flow to determine which fair value gaps are high probability, there's a good chance you are probably just gambling away, right? So let's break this down on the footprint charts, right? So we see this fair value gap over here, and the reason why it held is because I have actual tangible evidence. So we have 3 zeros down here. We see a lot of aggressive sellers, hence why we see the red delta, and we see a lot of red delta over here. So what this red represents is that there's more aggressive sellers than buyers, right? But the market is moving up in real time, right? The market is rejecting this area. So this tells us that the fair value gap is actually strong because sellers are being absorbed, right? That is what's happening over here. But when we go to this fair value gap over here, we see something very, very different. Again, the only way you can do this is by having access to the order flow and footprint charts. Now from here, we just drag over, right? What we can see is we see, a more equal distribution between buyers and sellers, right? Just over here. And we do see some buyers stepping in, right? But when we look at the difference, it's 718 for 839. So the difference in the delta isn't as great as it was in the previous fair value gap. Now, what's important to understand is that we had a dry up of volume over here, and the majority of the volume as the market broke was actually aggressive selling. So you need to understand there was not much aggressive sellers over here. Aggressive buyers did not step in, and we actually had the aggressive sellers step in and break the zone. Furthermore, we also saw a lot of aggressive buyers in this region and a lot of aggressive buyers in this region. We can see the blue delta. Despite that, the zone was actually able to hold and the markets eventually moved down. So what you need to understand when you're trading fair value gaps, you're not just looking for a market structure shift, right? You are looking at the order flow. You are looking at the order flow at these levels to determine whether or not price will hold.